A replacement aircraft bound for Russia's Magadan to fly out stranded passengers has been delayed as Air India officials are working through regulatory issues in order to operate this flight. An Air India flight, which was headed to San Francisco from New Delhi, was diverted to Russia's Magadan on Tuesday after it developed an engine issue, is what we're being told. NDTV has learned that several stranded Air India passengers in remote Magadan, which is over 10,000 kilometers from Moscow, are being housed in dormitories because hotels in the area are unable to accommodate everyone who is on this flight. Meanwhile, the United States has said that it is closely monitoring the current situation. Let's go across to my colleague Vishnu Shom, who's tracking all the latest developments for us. Vishnu, any progress made as far as Air India is concerned?
Yeah, I think the big point now is that finally, after more than 24 hours on the ground, a replacement aircraft, a relief aircraft by Air India will be flown from Mumbai to Magadan. It takes off at 1 p.m. Whatever the regulatory issues were that prevented this aircraft from taking off from Mumbai to take the stranded passengers in Magadan, in Russia, onwards to San Francisco, where they were originally scheduled to go, have now been resolved. The regulatory issues have been resolved, so this aircraft takes off at 1 p.m. Important to remember, it is a 9-hour flight. It is a 9-hour flight from Mumbai to Magadan. It's only once that aircraft reaches Magadan that they'll be able to then embark the passengers who've been stranded and staying in dormitories because there are no real hotels at all which are available over there. Basketball courts, according to some sources. Others, we've been speaking to passengers as well who've been telling us about how difficult the situation on the ground is. However, they are all safe. And once this relief aircraft does finally get to Magadan, they will be able to fly on to their destination, which is the United States. Now, I need to explain one or two small things over here, Parmeshwar. This is one of the longest routes in the world. It's operated by a rather specialized aircraft called the Boeing 777-200LR. The flight itself is more than 15 hours in duration. India is one of the few countries in the world which has rights to operate over Russian airspace. Most airlines do not fly over Russian airspace because of the Ukraine crisis or after the Ukraine crisis. Air India, however, does continue to do this. The problem is, while that there are massive advantages for Air India in operating over Russian airspace and then swinging down south over the or near the poles to get to Los Angeles and to get to San Francisco, the problem is if there is a technical problem which arises on this route when you are far up north or in the northeast of Russia, while there are airfields which are available, which are of the appropriate standard, they are in remote towns, as indeed is the case over here with the town or the city of Magadan. That is a situation which Air India has now encountered, but it has been a difficult experience for these passengers after their aircraft had to make a precautionary landing in Magadan yesterday in Far East Russia along the Pacific. But hopefully 9 hours or about 11 hours from now is when the aircraft would reach and they'd be able to continue with their onward journey.